So, welcome to this week's masterclass. It's something magic. So, just before recording, I had the song by America, You Can Do Magic. It's an old song, but I do love it because it aligns with today's masterclass. The universal truth is that failure is not an option. It's just not an option because there is beautiful magic. What does that mean? Well, we're going to break it down as per usual, get some insights, and have the awareness that in this 3D paradigm, we think there's duality, success and failure. That's it. But there is a truth. And those that have done mystery school in Mexico with me, I talk about um, is this true? This is what I know to be true. In my book, Secret Codes to Success, they say, is it true? Is it true? There's only one truth, that failure is not an option. And it's not about putting pressure on yourselves and going, oh my God, Jean said there's no option. I have to get successful. I have to do it the right way because that's 3D paradigm. We're not playing that game. This is all about being gentle in the feminine of the new paradigm, the fifth dimensional awareness. Fifth dimensional awareness is all about freedom of the mind. It's not freedom of once I pay the mortgage, once the kids grow up, once I pay the bills and all of that. So once I lose weight, once I get a partner, all of that stuff. None of that. So if there's a universal truth of failure is not an option, why do we play this game of striving, pushing? Because we're going against our natural way. It's just part of the 3D paradigm that we're here to learn and grow and blossom. It's part of our evolutionary state. And I watched it when I was nursing. Sometimes when I'd nurse the elderly, I would watch that they didn't push or strive anymore. Of course, there were some personalities that did, but they didn't. They were actually tuning into what was able to be done now in the present moment, that they'd lived experiences that I hadn't been through, especially being a younger nurse of 18 through to about 25. They knew a truth of failure is not an option. Why? Because for them, the most successful thing that they could do and have is their health. Maybe they fell down and broke their hip, their neck or femur. And so for them at that moment, it was failure is not an option. It's because I'm here to look after me. And the only option I've got is I want to be able to walk again. So I'm not even going to look at what's a failure or what's a success. Just going to look at what I can do with my health right now. And so as I go into surgery, I'm nervous. It's a big operation, big rehabilitation. But they didn't talk about failure or success. They just went, I want to be alive. I want to be healthy. I want to live in the moment. And then I want to be there for my grandkids or great grandkids. I want to eat the scorched peanuts because they'd have a jar of peanuts covered in chocolate. And so when I would drop them off at theatre after preparing them, before they went in, I had a secret, things that you're not allowed to do. When I was nursing, we weren't allowed to give patients hope, but I always did. I'd whisper it in their ear and say, see you on the return. I'll see you back on the ward and we'll walk together. See you back on the ward. You can have a sandwich. I'll go and get it for you. Because that universal truth is failure's not an option. And every now and again, they might slip into, what if I die under surgery? And I think, yeah, see you on the other side. We've got to walk and get a sandwich, remember? When they return back to the ward, they're in pain. They had drips and catheters and all sorts of things, and sometimes a block pillow between their legs, and we'd have to roll them over with our legs kind of skewy, etc. It was awful space and place and wash them in bed and comfortable. But they didn't have the mindset of failure is not an option. They just had the awareness of, I need to live in the now. That's all I need to do. And over the time of rehab and removing the block and moving drains and catheters and whatever else they had and getting the physio involved and social workers and all of their rehab treatment, the universal truth, failure is not an option. They had this inner strength of, well, I'm going to walk. Jean said, I'm going to walk and I'm going to get a sandwich. Where's my sandwich? So why is it that there's wisdom sometimes when we get older? Not that we practice that in the first world, whatever that means, first world countries. There was one time we would look at the older people and say, well, they've got wisdom. Tell me what it is. Today, there's all sorts of crazy things about kids and teenagers and young ones suing their parents for all sorts of things. Well, maybe you've got the wisdom that you actually know the universal truth is failure is not an option. It's just like those patients. You're looking back at your life right now and going, wait a minute, I didn't fail. You actually failed. Even if it was a test and you got an F for fail, you didn't actually fail. As Zig Ziglar said, it's only results. So if failure is not an option, if we go back to the now and 3D mind, why don't we just go for it, whatever the go for it is, like we did as a kid? Because as a child and as older person, we've got this great wisdom. It's in between as we live life that we go through the monkey mind and 3D paradigm of I can't, failure, duality, separation, isolation. And as a kid, we just went and did it. Even some of you, when you were told by the parent or the teacher, I know you went and did it, you gave it a try anyway. So the universal truth is that failure is not an option, is one of the universal laws. So therefore, whatever is holding you back, especially as we round up the year on this recording, it's the 1st December 2025. We're coming to the end of the calendar year. It's like, wow, we've got to lose. What are we going to do? Go do it. Go. Have a try. Investigate. Beware of perfectionism. Beware of duality. The monkey mind that says yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Be aware of who you speak to. Oh, I wouldn't do that. That's a really bad thing. It'll never work. But it's not an option. So what's stopping you? What's stopping you from asking how to do it? The person has a right to actually say, hey, listen, I don't want to answer, which I do. Sometimes people say, Jean, how much do you earn? Jean, what do you do in your private life with this? Jean, how do you run your business? I don't say. I don't want to say. It's not real. But ask other people. Or trial something. See what it's like. Maybe putting yourself first. Like that oxygen mask thing. You heard of that? Put the oxygen on you first rather than the others because you're dead. So if that is not an option, what's holding you back? And we know it's ourselves. It's our mind. Are you choosing to take their story and their truth and go, oh, that's their truth, I'll just take that? Again, in the Secret Success book, I say that thought's not loving, it's not even yours to own or have. So go for it. Yeah, anything you've got to lose is the limitation. That's it. Sure, we have rejection in the stomach. In the genital chakra, we have fear of rejection. It's not even rejection, it's the fear of rejection that stops us. But that's not the truth because failure is not an option and there's no failure. The only thing I can get is results. And sometimes We have a pattern of results where we go, same thing each time we'll say it's failure. But like Thomas Edison, who did the electricity and light globe, I think it was like something like 1,000 attempts. Didn't fail, he just had 1,000 attempts. How many attempts have you had getting up every day and living life, or however old you are? And you've never had a failure every day, otherwise you wouldn't have got up. Somewhere you've already got this implanted in your cells of the truth is failure is not an option. Otherwise, you wouldn't have kept on going or given a try or done whatever you've done. And so if you make a mistake, what a delicious thing can happen. How many mistakes I've made? Didn't. In actual fact, the word sin means to make a mistake. So I'm saying go sin, everyone. Go make mistakes because that's part of the learning lessons as well. But failure is just not an option. So go for it. And the more that we go for it, the more we realize that we're capable of anything. Anything is possible, that we can shine our brilliance. If other people react, not our problem. If people see you doing something, what if you're the example of what's possible? And it's like, oh my gosh, she did that. Oh my gosh, he did that. I'm going to give it a go. What if you're the example of what's possible to go, they did that? So failure is not an option. We'll just come back to that at the end of the year for the recording. What is it for this whole month? Being the 1st of December, we've got 31 days because it's just the first today. 31 days to go, what is it I want to do, say, have, be, create? Those are magic words. Knowing that nothing's a failure. Nothing. It might be really small. It might be ask them to clean up their room. It might be asking someone at work, listen, can you swap a shift with me? Which I used to do when I was nursing. Hey, I want to swap a shift. I'm not sure how to do that. I remember when I left nursing to work in pathology, I loved it. I just love stabbing people. I know that sounds really bad, but I really loved stabbing people. It was so easy. It was so fun because of my medical intuitive insight. I could see inside the body and get the veins, and that was great. But then they said, do a blood gas. Oh my lordy, lordy. Blood gas. You dart the needle into the artery right here. And I mean dart it. And because it's an artery, the syringe just lifts up itself, and you've got to make sure you tourniquet it off really hard. And then you run the needle down to the laboratory because it's alive and whatever. And then you've got to run back because that's an artery. You don't want to spooling up, dying and clotting and whatever else. And I was so frightened of failure. In my brain, I had, oh my God, what if I kill someone? What if I kill someone? I was so nervous on the first go. I just didn't want to do it. And I felt sick and rejection and whatever. And I went, stop, stop, stop. Because I had someone standing right next to me, teaching me how to do it. But I was also thinking of the patient. I don't want them to be the guinea pig. Can you just do it on me? Can't I do it on myself? Which I couldn't. I just do it. Breathe. Well, it's not an option because I had someone standing there right beside me to support me and show me. So if it's not an option, give it a go. And when we have that awareness, it's like sinking into our heart and being really grounded. So I did, my feet grounded on the ground of the floor of the hospital. I was like, okay, fine, it's not an option. Go for it. And when we go for it, and we ground and go for it, was like, okay, just go. Focus. What am I doing? And why am I doing it? I want to see what's happening for this poor patient. What's going on? We need these results. And because my focus changed from going, oh my God, if I can't do it, blah, 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 3D ego paradigm duality, monkey mind story, to stop. Let's do it. darted in, took it off, put the tourniquet on. My teacher that was teaching me, she stayed there. I ran it down to the laboratory, ran back, finished it off, and we walked away and she said, it's amazing. Is it confidence? No. Is it determination? It's just the knowing failure is not an option. That's it. So any of your firsts that you're going to do, failure is not an option. Any of the things that you've tried before, because I have had people when I did medical intuitive sessions, which I don't do anymore, people say, oh, I've tried everything. And I think, no, you haven't. It's just repeating a pattern. The only thing there is a failure is an option. It's an option. It's not an option. It's just not an option. It's not there. Just not there. It's a 3D paradigm concept, duality. Was I taught it? Yes, I was. Do I believe? No, I don't. Because I believe that it's not an option. Just go for it. And then if you give it a try, go for it. You'll get results. Okay. Can you laugh it off? I do at myself, not others. It's not an option. Because if we live with that concept that failure is the option, there's only these dualities. We limit ourselves. We make ourselves small. We make ourselves insignificant. Then monkey mind stories. I'm not enough. And what are they going to think? Oh my gosh, what are they going to think? Concept comes in. Uncle J. Fox said, what you think of me is none of my business. Oh my goodness me. So let's go back. That universal truth. The truth. Failure is not an option. That's it. Simple. So simple. Because part of Mystery School was actually tapping into the mystery of life, of possibilities and shining your brilliance, and everything is possible. It wasn't actually a mystery. It was tapping into the greater wisdom of ourselves. And we would sit together on a group because we didn't have Zoom back then or social media or whatever. Yeah, the mystery was everything always works out. I am lovable, loving, love, love. Is it true? What meaning do I give it? And if that thought's not loving, it's not mine to own. All of these codes and the secret codes to success book. And success is not about how much you earn, what you look like. Who cares? Nobody cares. What people care about is how you made them feel. That's how they remember you. So here's the truth. The universal truth is failure is not an option. End of story, done. What are you going to do today? What are you going to do after you've watched this? Anything is possible. And if you take that and take it into the next year, what sort of year will you have? So what we're going to do is we're going to have some sharing. And the sharing is where you get to share your great wisdom because everybody has got wisdom and we all learn and grow. And if you would like to type it in the chat and put a Y at the beginning, which means yes, Jean, read it. Don't put it at the end because I'll read it and then see the end for no, don't read it. Put it at the beginning. Or unmute yourself. That would be so great. So we'll start with Maud, Sonny, and then Leona.
Okay. What I learned that we are afraid to do things. We are afraid to move from our place. I just thinking about myself. I'm thinking, oh, I cannot do that because I don't have money. Oh, I must do that. I cannot live anywhere else. I cannot do. And sickness come and all things like that. But now I have changed my mind and I go for it. Whatever happens. I don't know what's happened. I don't care. I just do what I want now. Thank you.
Pleasure. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. And on Maud's sharing, we have these thoughts going around in the 3D paradigm, but it always works out. What happens is we get caught up in this whirlwind of I can't, and what if I can't control, and I don't know the outcome, which what that's doing is saying, I'm removing myself from my actual true self, which knows that I can be to have anything. And if I look at my own history, high story, we've actually been able to do anything and get through it. Even when we've had the worst of times, the baddest times, we've always got through it. It's just our brain stops, doesn't look back and says, well, failure wasn't an option back then. I was able to get through this and this and this and this. So if I take a leap of faith, and faith is held in the crown chakra, and faith, the true meaning of faith is certain of what I hope for and sure of what I do not see, because the seeing is within us. But I know something will happen. If you guys are here watching this, you've actually done it yourself. That you've taken faith of watching this, whether you like it or not, doesn't really matter, but you took faith in yourself. But it's also looking at, do you know what? I can do this. Failure is not an option. And it might be the smallest thing. It might be move house. It might be one of my clients tried mango for the first time. Oh my goodness me, those that know me, I love mango. And my son gave me for my birthday after Egypt a whole box of R2D2 or R2E2 or whatever mangoes. I ate the lot myself. How can you not try mangoes? Failure is not an option. Did they like the mangoes? They said it was okay. It's not an option. So thank you, Maud. Who is next? Forgot. I think it was Sonny. And if you can't answer, that's no problems. I'll just read out. Ruth, thank you so much, someone. Thank you, Jean, for the reminder that limitations are from the monkey mind and true freedom is in the quiet mind. So, well, sometimes, Ruth, my mind's not quiet very often, but sometimes true freedom can be from the abundant mind as well. So thank you, Ruthie. And then we'll go to Lou. I've begun to approach things as an explorer. Yes, an example, upholstery. I am teaching myself. I'm exploring by pulling it to pieces, then knowing to put it back together. I've redone some projects 3 times, but we both survived and they were beautiful. See, Lou, exactly. And we are. We're explorers and adventurers and authors. The author is you write the story, and we explore all the time and go, let's adventure. And that pulling apart, that's a beautiful example of your upholstery of like, put it apart, put it together, pull it apart, put it together. A bit like Thomas Edison, 1,000 attempts. So thank you, darling. If we go back to Sonny, if you want to chat, if not, there's no problems. And then I think it was Leona. I forgot, guys. Was it Leona? Thank you, Don. Do you want to share?
Failure is not an option. There are always results, and then we assess the results. Are they the results we really want? If not, we
Yep,
try again.
yep, 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 yep. So you guys got amazing wisdom, all of you. Let's go to Monique and Leanne.
Morning, everyone. Yeah, thank you, Jean. Yeah, failure is not an option. And interestingly, I've been reflecting lately that I've never seen myself as the example of what's possible. But looking back over lots of different things I've done, I probably start to see that in certain aspects, I have been an example of what's possible. So thank you for the reminder this morning.
Oh, my pleasure. Every one of you, everyone on the planet is an example of what's possible. And possibilities, not just in careers or in parenting or losing weight or health or anything like that. It can be anything whatsoever. An example of what's possible can be, I remember going for a walk many Christmases ago, and there was a gentleman that he was homeless and he used to sleep in the gutter when I was walking. This is 2 dogs ago, so not Zach, but my previous dog, Lucky. And he was the example of what was possible for me as well. And that was, having been homeless myself many years ago, I went, thank you so much for being there. What's possible is that you've taught me gratitude of where I am. That one is an example of what's possible if we understand the truth is failure is not an option. And that every one of us is just the most incredible light being, love. So thank you, Monique. Leanne, would you like to share, darling? And all you have to do is unmute. If not, there's no problems either. So, if you took today's Mystery School Masterclass, that ancient wisdom, and all these masterclasses come from the great times of Atlantis and Lemuria and Egypt, Aztec, Incan, Mayan, and they're all of one time. And now, all at one time, the same lessons. But we forgot that the universal truth is failure is not an option. Who made up that story that there was even such a word of failure and the meaning? It's a construct of the 3D paradigm. It's the duality we live here. And what if, as souls, we went, I want to experience duality. Let me go to Earth. That'll be fantastic. Cannot wait to have love and fear and everything goes with. Cannot wait. That's so exciting. But then when you remember, when you have the reminder, and then you go and practice this, it's like, yeah, there's not so much duality or pain here on this planet. So have a practice. And then after this, go and play that song by America. You can do magic. While you play that in your head, and you think, wow, failure's not an option. Let's see what magic will happen for you. Have the best this week, everybody, and thank you so, so much for being here. And for those that watch the recording and message me, I really appreciate it, whether it be in my Facebook group, Mr. School with Jen Chen, or on YouTube. I so appreciate your messages, and who knows what will happen? Because now you know the universal truth. Failure is not an option. It is. Love to you all. Bye.